skills. My good people, I have something very important that I want to say. I am wondering if now is the time for me to say it, because I want the sportsmen and sportswomen to be listening right now. This is a bombshell right now I'm going to drop on the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. Because I want to let our sportsmen and sportswomen to know that Kenny Douglas and the NextGenSKN labor team will make sure that you, the players, will be earning something at the end when you finish training and you finish playing for whatever sporting team that you represent. We will go as far as putting all our sportsmen on the PEP program, on the STEP program, and give you something, because you deserve better after you are training so hard and playing so hard for your teams. So you will earn money from sports also. But we are going to sit together and we are going to put a proper plan in place for that. So you, from Connery United and the St. Peters and the Newtown United and the Garden Haspers and the Village Superstars, the Sandy Point, the St. Paul's, you will not be training, and training will not go in vain. We will put you on the PEP program, but I want you to know that this comes with training. You have to be dedicated and committed. We will have persons here who will be setting up spreadsheets and these things to make sure that you train hard, and you are not going to be paid if you are not training and you are not dedicated and committed to the game. This will not just be for my footballers, but I want to introduce this to all the sporting people. And not to mention, when you are playing for the national team, we are going to take care of you also. You will be taken care of financially. And also, we will make sure that you have insurance, all of you. It doesn't matter what sporting discipline you represent here in St. Kitts-Nevis. This is how you improve. This is how you empower. This is how you develop your people here in St. Kitts-Nevis. And what the incumbent, the Disunity Party has to offer is nothing close to this. In conclusion, my good people of constituency number 5, my good people of St. Kitts-Nevis, all the constituencies will benefit from all these plans that I have just outlined. All these plans that I have in store for you will help with the development and the improvement and the betterment of our constituency and the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis on a whole. Because what I said to you, what for me is for you the people, and that will continue to be the mantra, because I will never abandon you. I will never leave Sandy Point to go to Frigate Bay. I will never leave Sandy Point to go to Martinley or Birdwalk. That's what our representative right now for constituency number 5 said about Jacinth. Send her back to Newtown or send her back to Birdwalk. But he spends most of his time there. And now elections are around the corner. You are seeing him. As somebody said earlier, you never see him working like how he's working before. Because Kenny got him going by the breath right now. Kenny will be the next representative in Sandy Point. I want to make a commitment to you, the people. I want to be your humble servant. I want to continue to serve you, the people of constituency number 5. This is what I have been doing all my life. And it will not be different now. It will never be different now. Because that is what I do. I was called to serve you, the people. And so what I did now is to make this extra step, because I am sick and fed up of watching my people suffer in Sandy Point. My good people, I want to ask you this evening, on Friday, 5th June 2020, vote NextGenSKN. Vote Labour. Put your X by the hand. Vote for Kenny Douglas. Vote for all 8 Labour candidates, and you will never, ever regret it. Sandy Point is me. And I am Sandy Point. I will never, ever, ever forget my people in constituency number 5. I have been a proud Sandy Pointer before politics. And I am even more proud now that I have the chance now to be your representative. For 5 years, my comrades, my good people of constituency number 5 has been on the back burner. They have been neglected. They have been rejected. They have been forgotten. And now I am here. I am here for you, the people. But as I said before, on June 5th, it is the day. You have the power to change the change. Vote Kenneth Douglas and watch number 5 come alive. Thank you very much, and may God richly bless you this evening.
Long time we've been waiting for something to make us feel the vibe. The soldier in this red army makes Sandy Point come alive. Alive. In number 5 we never die, you know. Alive. In number 5 the people cry, you know. Alive. In number 5 come let me do it together. Alive. In 5 me and me neighbor voting for Labour. Sandy Point massive. Come with me, come with me. Alright. I want to hear you say this, alright? On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Say what for me is what for you. What for me is what for you. Say what for me is what for you. What for me is what for you. Tell everybody come and try. Everybody come and try. Say what for me is what for you. What for me is what for you. Say what for me is what for you. In number 5 we never die, you know. Alive. In number 5 the people cry, you know. Alive. In number 5 come let me do it together. Alive. In 5 me and me neighbor.
I want to say what an excellent presentation by the man from constituency number 5, Kenneth Kenny Douglas. He said something while he was speaking, and it's very important, and I want to capture it. That the sportsmen and the women who are playing in the leagues at the highest level, that they will be compensated for it. So it means, therefore, that the guys who are playing for the St. Peter's Premier Football team will be compensated. The guys who are playing for the Connery Football Club would also be compensated. And those who are playing for Keon will also be compensated. And I hope that the young men and the young women are listening. Those who are playing for Newtown, for Superstars, for Spurs, St. Paul's. Can you send the point back up yet? All right, Kenny. And all the other sports team around St. Kitts-Nevis, they will be compensated. I love this idea. I love this plan. And I hope that the sportsmen are listening. And so we want to move on tonight. And we are coming from the west and we are going to the east. Because in the east, we have a man who is with the people. He stands with the people, and the people stand with him, and the people are with him. They're trying all sort of fake news and propaganda and lies and deception to bring him down. But his work with the community over the many years sustains him. The people know him, and as a result, it is just like water over his back. It's just rolling off, not gone away. And so the patchman is in serious trouble. Serious trouble. And he's desperately trying all sort of things. And you know what surprised me about the patchman? Is that somebody took me to Bird Rock and showed me the house that he's building. The house is well over $1 million. A minister's salary might be around $13,000. He gives away half his salary, which brings him to about $6,000 plus. And he's building $1 million house. Does it add up? There must be a lot of concrete in that house for true. And so I want to bring the man who will take constituency number 1 and will be a force to be reckoned with here in St. Kitts-Nevis as it takes the government and leadership and service to the people by storm. Help me to welcome Dr. Jeffrey Hanley.
Ooh, yeah. I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. He's last year to Friggy Bay. We supporting Jeffrey Hanley. He is a man with the plans to develop the constituency. No matter you young or old, Jeffrey Hanley, he cares for we. That is why on election day we go take the victory on election day. Yeah, we don't chop PBX and put in the box someday. Yeah, we voting Jeffrey, we don't care what nobody say. Hey, he's the man for the job, the one who really cares about where. Hey, Jeffrey Hanley #1. Election day, I am with you, and every day I am with you. Election day, I am with you, and every day I am with you. Election day, I am with you, and every day I am with you. Election day, I am with you, and every day I am with you.
Thank you very much, my good people. A very pleasant good evening to all of my good people of East Bastille. 3 days left before we'll throw our hands in the air and declare, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we are free at last. I say a pleasant good evening to the warriors of the East. I love you, East Bastille. I love you, and I am with you. I say to you, we are not going to get weary in well-doing, because great shall be our reward on June 6th. We have been doing a good work. You have been working very hard, and I am grateful for your assistance. Buenas noches, estoy con ustedes. To those Spanish supporters, I say to you, good night, and I am with you. I say to you, voto para la mano. I know I was going to get it right. And that is simply saying to you, when you go to the polls, you put your X by the hand. But my people, tonight I bring you a message of hope, as it is only 3 days left before the general elections. And I would have been telling you that you will have a number of things in which you will have to decide whether or not you are satisfied or pleased with the performance of this unity government. And after interacting with you, many of you would have been saying to me, it's time for them to go. They have failed in the economy. They have failed when it comes to job opportunity, the health care, education, and even affordable homes. I said to you before, more businesses have been shut down in this 5 years than what would have happened in 20 years. You name them and they are closed. They are trying to think it's because of COVID, but we know better than that, because many would have shut their doors before COVID. The government has nothing to say to us about new investments. They have no plans, my people. I continue to remind you that the representative of East Bastille would have wasted $150 million on a cruise spear. and there evidence that the pier is cracking. No proper due diligence done, and they hurriedly went, wasted our money. But we are going to fix that on June 5th by getting rid of them. Only Labour, my dear people, has the skills and the experience to rebuild this economy after COVID-19. We did it with our leader in the past, and he will be able to usher us into victory, and he will, and we will as a team do it again, my dear people.
We're coming in stronger than ever. We're coming in stronger than ever.
To those persons who I interacted with, those businessmen from Port Zante and the other businesses, I say to you, our post-COVID stimulus package will cause your business to bounce back. So I'm asking you, when you go to the polls on Friday, make your X by the hand, and that will put you in a position for your business to rise again under a Labour government. We have the plan in our manifesto. More job opportunities for our young people. Opportunities for them to earn their own businesses. Opportunities for them to be able to earn their own money rather than depending on a handout that will be taken or could be taken away from them. I say to you, my people in East Bastille, we are not selling out our vote in this general elections. Many of you would have said to me how hard it is under this government, and they just come in the last shower of rain trying to wave money in your faces. Do not buy that, my good people of East Bastille. We have the plan that will make you your own businessmen and women in the constituency. I say to you, I would have listened and would have crafted our manifesto for the constituency. You mentioned to me affordable homes. So I am pleased to let you know that we will be providing affordable homes for you, the people in East Bastille. Creative homes, nothing like you would have seen before. And I can say tonight that in some of the housing complex, we will have small businesses attached to them. So you will be able to function right in your environment. And the rent will be affordable, not those rent that will be choking you, my dear people. We care about you. And I say to you, my dear people, in constituency number 1, I am excited about serving you. In our local manifesto, you will see that we are going to have a number of kiddies family parks all throughout the constituency. We are going to have outdoor gyms as well in the constituency. I give the assurance to the sportsmen and the women in the constituency, just as how Comrade Kenny would have been lobbying for his stadium, we too will have our state-of-the-art stadium. I looked at 5 years, the women training center would have been shut down on Pons Pasture. I give you the assurance that we will transform that center into an empowerment center that will help everyone in the constituency. You can depend on me, East Bastille, to guide your children through career path counseling sessions and opportunities. I will develop a community after school mentorship program that I will dub camp for my people in the constituency. As a scout, I will not let you down, and I will promote civic mindedness through the school and community-based groups. We are going to make sure that Scouts and Brownies, Leos, and all of those organizations live again. I say to you, my people, the future looks bright, and it will even get brighter on June 6th. Because when you look at our plans, the state-of-the-art art and entertainment square that will be in the constituency, giving our young entertainers the opportunity to have their music studio where they can do their recording and their editing of their work so that they can become professional. I give you that assurance that we are going to transform East Bastia into a constituency, into a community that will be digital and dynamic, one that will be the envy not only in St. Kitts but the entire region. In closing, my dear people, I say to you, hope is on its way. It's just a matter of 3 days. I say to you, my good people of constituency number 1, we are almost to the finish line, and we are not going to drop the baton, and no one will pass us. So I say to you, hold straight just as though you are in a tug-of-war on sports day. And as we continue to hold strain, I tell you, I feel the victory coming in constituency number 2 with Marcelo. And we are holding strain in constituency number 3 with King Conrest. We are grabbing hold of that rope with constituency number 4 with Steve Wrensford for sure. And in number 5, our fit and dynamic Kenny Douglas. We are holding strain, my good people, in constituency number 5. And we have the anchor in number 6. So we are holding strain with our comrade leader. And then when we bounce over in constituency number 7, what a giant of a man, our comrade Nat Nelson holds strain constituency number 7. And God would have given us a caring doctor in Dr. Terence Joe in constituency number 8. Constituency number 8 holds strain with Dr. Terence Joe. And East Bastia in number 1. The case is straight. Try what they want, but we are not letting go that rope, because we are holding strain, and we are pulling, and we are pulling. And on June 4th, June 5th, June 6th, they will be on the ground. One love, one love. Love you, East Bastia. God bless us.
I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. I am with you. He's lasted to Friggy Bay. We supporting Jeffrey Hanley. He is the man with the plans to develop the constituency. No matter you young or old, Jeffrey Hanley, he cares for away. That is why on election day we go take the victory. On election day, yeah. We don't chop in minutes and put in the box and day, yeah. We voting Jeffrey, we don't care what nobody say, hey. He's the man for the job, the one who really cares for great, hey. Jeffrey Hanley number 1.
What a speech, what a presentation. filled with passion, vision, and a plan. Thank you, Comrade Jeffrey Hanley. I want to say to the young men tonight, because I saw a video put out by another young person. And the video had options that are being offered to our young people. I want to say to the young men that Labour has not forgotten you, and Labour will never forget you. Our plan is to help you to build your life. Our plan is to help you to have a future and not a quick fix. Our plan is really to help you to structure yourself in permanent and good things. We want to see you live out your dream. Live out your dream as sportsmen. Because what Kenny has said is that those who are playing in our leagues, you will be compensated for that. That gives you the opportunity to advance yourself. For those of you who want to start a small business, whether it's landscaping, internet services of some kind, whatever the small business may be, you want to cut hair, set up a store. These are the things that we want our young men to be getting involved in, so that you can grow yourself and build wealth for you and your family. We have not forgotten you. We have a plan for you, and that is why we are creating a ministry of small businesses so that you can benefit. We will take care of you, and that is the better option for our young men. But we are moving on tonight, and we are going to another constituency. And we'll go all the way along the eastern coast, and we'll go to the David of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party. So therefore, we are going to move, to constituency number 2. And we are going to ask the royal lady who will take that constituency once again. I see that they have started some propaganda machination against the royal lady. For when they can't beat you with the facts, with vision, plans, and ideas, they resort a lot of the times to propaganda, lies, and deception. And so in constituency number 2, she's going up against a young man. And that young man, he has started off the wrong way. Because he's not even a representative. He's not even deep into the politics as yet. And he's caught in misappropriation of people's funds. And is due to sit before a panel of judges who would decide his fate, whether he be suspended from practicing law for all his life or be suspended for some time. But either way, it shows that he cannot be trusted. And it's very painful, because that's the young man that I told that the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party had put in place a code of ethical conduct of how you should govern yourself in public life. And he refused to do it. He refused to do it. And I'm still thinking to myself, had he set that as a mark to which he would judge himself and govern himself, he may not have ended up in that. So I asked the people of constituency number 2, can you really vote for a man whom the court has decided is not fit to be a lawyer at this point in time? How can you vote for him when the court has decided that he has misappropriated people's funds? What has he done to your funds? And therefore, I want to bring someone of integrity, solid service, vision, and a plan for the people of constituency number 2, the deputy leader of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, the Honorable Marcel Liburd.
of Labour, all of you logged on tonight, a very pleasant good evening to you. We say good night to our listening and viewing public as well, as we bring this virtual meeting this evening to you. What a motorcade yesterday. What a motorcade. Hundreds of vehicles. And you know what was instructive about those vehicles? There were very few rentals. Check and you see. Very few rentals. It means that the people were determined to come out. They will use their own vehicles to come out to that motorcade yesterday. We want to thank them for that solid show of support yesterday. Thousands of young people, high energy, and a dogged determination for change. I happened to be up by the Best Buy area when the motorcade was coming back in. Hundreds of people gathered there even before the motorcade came. And you could just sense that high energy and that determination for change. And funny enough, I spoke to two persons who had the same response for the motorcade. They said, Ms. Liburd, that's a fed-up motorcade. That's a fed-up motorcade. People fed up of the victimization. They're fed up of the nepotism. They're fed up of the injustice. And they're fed up at Timothy Harris and his government. And so it was a fed-up motorcade yesterday. We hear they were supposed to have a motorcade today, but after that fed-up motorcade, they probably changed their mind a long time. They said no. And so today, when I looked around in Central Basti and other areas, you could see desperation on them. They were desperate before, is worse now. And so Len Harris round and round and round all over the place, doing his usual do. Yes. Dorset Park, New Road, Pine Garden, he's all over. And he in other constituencies as well. I don't think he's sleeping. All over the place, desperation. And guess who showed up in New Road today? Charles Morton. Charles Morton, the people in New Road probably never saw Charles Morton for I don't know how long. I don't even know if they know Charles Morton. But you know the number of people in Central Basti who have told me, young women, single mothers, that they go to NHC where they put Charles Morton now. And he give them the royal runaround. They can't get anything. They can't get no housing. But today, Charles Morton is going and asking everybody to sign a paper for housing. Desperation. That motorcade frightened them. Frightened them. And so it's pure desperation. So the money is overflowing. Sign up all kind of paper for housing. All kind of paper for land going out to hundreds of persons. No square footage on it. You don't even know where the land is. But just take a paper for land because it's pure desperation. But you know what's sad about that? They still believe that in 2020, ordinary people have no sense. They still believe in 2020 they could just come and disrespect the intelligence of ordinary people. But we have news for them. We have news for them. Having neglected the people for more than 5 years, then they could come now in the last 2 weeks and give everybody land paper, shingle out all this money, come sign up for house, when throughout, you get in the royal run round for 5 years. And so they think that the people are foolish. But we know that that motorcade frightened them yesterday. For it's clear to all that Timothy Harris called this election and they were not ready. They were not ready. And so they called an election and he was shocked the next day to see the billboards for labor going up, and they say, you know, wait, you go all up by Google, you see them pile up in the yard when we already put up all of our billboards. Not ready, but they call the election. I had a joke somebody give me, say, Timothy Harris called somebody up customs and say, after he announced the election, boy, check to see when labor boards them coming in. And the boards on in long time. He not ready yet. And then, look at what is happening. We have already launched 2 manifestos, not one. We launched our own manifesto. And then the next evening, our young people launch their youth manifesto. And the government who call an election is still to launch the manifesto. I don't know if they have a manifesto. Well, you could say what you want. But they are still to launch the manifesto, and the elections are Friday. To show you that they're completely not ready. And what about calling an election and you don't even have a full slate? You don't even have a full slate and you call it an election. So after you've announced the election, you now go and launch a candidate. You want anything more disrespectful than that? But that is how they think they could disrespect people. Because it's all about them. He just wants to be able to say that he has a full slate now. But after he called an election is when you get in a full slate. I hear the person get $3 million. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. If $3 million could cover up their dignity and their pride as a human being, you tell me who could come to you after an election is announced and say, come on, come on. How does that work? But again, it shows you how disorganized they are, how much they were not ready for these elections, but we in Labour, we are ready and ready. Ready and ready in Labour. And so in Central Bastille, there are 1 or 2 things. There's so many things that you can look forward to, but I just want to bring out 1 or 2 tonight. And one comes to mind because today, as I was in the New Road area, I spoke to an elderly lady and her family, and they were saying to me that they were having so much difficulty moving her to get her to the doctor, to get her to the hospital and so on. And I said to them, don't worry, because we in Central will be bringing a mobile health unit to Central Bastille. And you don't have to be jealous of us, the rest of you, because we won't be selfish with it, right? And so we will lend it to the other constituencies. But a mobile health unit means that you'll be able to take health to the communities, because you'll go around from community to community with the unit. And so in the case of that lady, you'll just have the unit in that particular area, in that particular street, and you won't have to have all this movement of people to go to the doctor with such difficulty or to go up to the hospital, because the unit will come to you. The health unit will come to you, and that will move around from area to area as part of bringing a modern health system to St. Kitts-Nevis. Also, housing is a huge concern for all the constituencies. Central is no different. Today, as I went around, it was housing, housing, housing. I want to say to the people of Central Bastille that when it comes to housing, Labour has an impeccable record. We have built over 5,000 houses for the time that Labour was in office. Over 1,000 homes in every term. At least 1,000 homes in every term. What has happened in this unity term? Not even 300 houses good. Not even 300 houses. Me alone built over 100 houses when in my first term in government. And in all of St. Kitts, 300 houses in their term. And they promised to build 2,000. 2,000. Only 300. So I want to assure all those persons in Central Bastille that you will be able to apply in a transparent way. not to pick out this and pick out that. In a transparent way, we will put a system in place so that you could apply on a first come, first served basis for the homes that we propose to build, 200 homes, 40% of which will be set aside for people under the age of 40. And so, look forward to our housing problem. And the third matter I would like to draw to your attention would be where we will be setting a platform for our artists. Central, has the best artists, sorry. Central has the best artists. Whether it's New Vibes Band, whether it's Sensi, whether it's Akai, we have the best artists. And so, as part of the job creation, we want to ensure that our artists could provide a living for themselves and their families, and we will provide the proper environment for that to happen post-COVID. And so I want to end by saying that in Central Bastille, the choice is clear. Politics and government is about trust. As a matter of fact, when you are elected, you become a trustee for the people. The people impose their trust in you because you become the people's trustee. But my opponent has already breached the trust of his clients by misappropriating the client's money. And he says he has an explanation, so I'm told. So I'm asking him to explain to the people of Central Bastille and the country, how is it that a man left $1.25 million with you in order to do a particular transaction, and when that transaction came to fruition, the money was not there? Explain. Give an explanation for that. How is it that after a while, you're trying to get this money, and then you issued a check that bounced? A bounced check. Explain to the people of Central Bastille and the people of St. Kitts-Nevis how that is possible. Explain to the people how is it that the criminal investigation that was being carried out on you and Lindsey Grant, explain to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis and the people of Central Bastille, how is it that that criminal investigation was stopped by Timothy Harris and the investigating officer removed from the white collar unit and sent to an outstation? Explain that to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. Explain how is it that you are going to go before a disciplinary committee for professional misconduct. Explain that to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, since there is an explanation for it. Explain how come June the 8th, the election is June the 5th, and June the 8th, you will be before court again in this matter. 3 days later, explain that to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis. And also explain to them how is it that you are proposing to sell the parking lot at Pelican Mall for $300,000 during the year 2018, early in 2018. How is it that you, Janelle Powell, were proposing to sell the parking lot at the Pelican Mall for $300,000, saying that this money must be put in an escrow account? Sounds familiar? Sounds familiar? Put in an escrow account? But what is significant about that is that it's later in 2018 that they paid the money for the man in the case. And so you have to wonder, why is it he was trying to sell this parking lot for $300,000 earlier in that same year? And so I want to say to the people of Central Bastille and the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, is it that we accept anything when it comes to running for office? Is it that we have no morals anymore, no ethics, no standards? Is it that Anybody could do whatever they want, misappropriate people's money, take their money, do whatever they want with it, and then could still turn around and offer themselves for office? Is this what we've come to in St. Kitts-Nevis? Well, the people of Central Bastia and the people of St. Kitts-Nevis would have to make a determination on that. But I strongly believe that the people of Central Bastia and the people of St. Kitts-Nevis would not want these examples to be for their children. They wouldn't want their children to have these examples as leaders in St. Kitts-Nevis. And we as a country must set our standards. There's no other country that I know of would have been tolerating anything like this. No matter whether it's Antigua, Barbados, Jamaica, no other country. And I'm staying in the Caribbean. I'm not even going out to the United States and England and all these other places. No other country, in no other country could Janelle Powell and Lindsey Grant, with a court matter against them for such misconduct, be able to run for public office. And we must make a statement here in Central Bastia and in St. Kitts-Nevis that this is not the conduct that we would want our leaders to have. And so, only in St. Christopher. And so I said to you tonight, as the 5th of June draws nigh, there's a clear choice between NextGenSKN and the rest. I don't even know who the rest is. They look like the Motley Crue to me. A clear choice. NextGenSKN, who have provided you with programs and plans to take our country to the next level. On the other hand, you have some people who up to now can't present anything. As a matter of fact, they look as though they're waiting until you say something and then they just say it after me. For the longest while we're saying we're going to build a hospital. All of a sudden in the last 2 or 3 weeks, I see them saying they're going to build a hospital too. Wally Wilkin will put out some picture of some Dubai place as they did for the Bastia High School and then said, this is the hospital we're going to build. No plans or programs, but we have produced a manifesto of class with plans and programs to take our country post-COVID-19 and into the next level and into the next generation. That's why we're Next Gen. And so I said to you, come Friday, put your vote for the hand. Put your vote for the hand in the box. Make sure that you don't put your X on any of the sides of it. Put it right in the center so that you don't have any spoiled ballots. Vote for the hand. Vote for Next Gen. Vote to take your country to the next level. Thank you. Good night.
Stand up, Next Gen, boom, all right then. Deliver, Next Gen, deliver, Next Gen, deliver, deliver, Next Gen, deliver, Next Gen, deliver, boom. We're stronger than ever, okay. We're coming in stronger than ever. St. Kitts-Nevis, whoa. Let we go. Everybody start to jump with deliver.
We want to thank the royal lady for that outstanding presentation. She said a number of things. Put your hands together for the royal lady. With class, finesse. Thank you. But she spoke about a number of very important things. And she spoke to the issue of housing. And I want all of you to download the NextGenSKN app manifesto. Putting manifesto in an app is now an NextGenSKN tactic to get the information to the people. That's the new norm. We set the standard. Trendsetters, NextGenSKN. And I'm hearing it's the only political party in the Caribbean with one. We're setting the trend as we did with virtual meeting. We are an innovative party. And she spoke about housing, and we are committed to building at least 2,000 houses in our term. For the housing will ensure that people be put back to work. It will stimulate the economy, and it will take people out of these houses where you have multi-generations. Grandmother, child, grandchildren. Some of them have great-grandmother, grandmother, mother, and child or children. Sleeping on the floor, sleeping in the front room. And we are saying that we are now committed to change that reality here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is why I'm saying that Eugene Hamilton, as the Minister of Housing, is a failure. He has only built just around 300 homes in a term. When they met at Treasury with over $900 billion and money in the Treasury to pay back the IMF, they can only muster to build a mere 300 homes for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Can you imagine that? And so that is why we are saying that the NextGenSKN has to be the best option for St. Kitts and Nevis. And so, as I touch on that issue, I want to say one more thing. That the young men who are on the Peace Initiative, and this initiative was initiated by the young men, and Timothy Harris and Len Harris are trying to take the credit from the young men. And that is why I said to the young men in Upper Keyon, in Lower Keyon, in Keys, in Connery, in St. Peter's, in McKnight, in Newtown, in Tabernacle, in Sandy Point, in Sadlers, do not listen to Timothy Harris or Len Harris. They are using you and abusing you to win an election. They have no long-term plans for you. But the NextGenSKN, St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, we have the long-term plans for all of our young people, including the young men. But we'll move on, because I hear the threatening the young men them, telling them vote for unity, otherwise they're going to take away the money. And I want the young men to understand, don't listen to that. Len Harris has no plan for you. He's trying to stay in power, to continue to get what he likes to get. And that is why you must vote them out. And I'll tell you the next piece of the story as it goes on. But right now I want to go all the way to constituency number 4. And I told you that there's a man down there who has vision and depth, and who is working very hard, going door to door. Of all the things you might say about Steve, one of the things you cannot say about him, is that he's no thief. Steve is an honest man. A man with integrity. A man who has served his people. A man who lives in the constituency. But he's coming up against a man who does not live in the constituency. A man who has not served the people. And a man who has misappropriated people's fund. Take up people money. This is a pattern now. That same man was caught in Marriott. You see, the election has to be about trust. In no other country would Lindsey Grant be allowed to run. If you're talking about trust and integrity in public life and good governance. But he did not stop there. Now a court is dragging him before a tribunal for mistrust and misappropriation of people's money, aka thief. And you know why it hurt me? Because if a man from in Monkey Hill, they go on somebody tree and take up 2 jelly and get catch, they would have called him thief and lock him up, give him 6 months in jail for 2 jelly. But a man gonna take over $1 million and nothing for that. He can run for political office here in St. Kitts and Nevis. That is the state we are in as a country, and the NextGenSKN offers hope offers a different direction and offers the opportunity for good governance. And that is why I say, Steve, for sure, in number 4, help me to bring to the microphone that man who silently works and works hard, Steve Wrensford.
On election day, hear what I say. On election day, hear what I say. We vote in Steve, Steve, Steve. On election day, we vote in Steve, Steve, Steve. On election day, we jam in with Steve. We pushing for Steve. We voting for Steve. Steve, Steve, Steve. The one for we. Steve, Steve, Steve. The man for the community. Steve, Steve, Steve. Our leader in here. People Lindsay say we voting Steve anyway. People Lindsay say we voting Steve all the way. We jamming with Steve. We pushing for Steve.
Good night. Good night to all the persons listening to this virtual meeting. Good night to those in the diaspora. And good night to those in constituency number 4. I want to say to the people of this federation that this election is about choice. It's about choice of character. It's about choice of achievements. It's about choice of people over self. And it's a choice of opportunities over stagnation. I want to remind you, in February 2018, misappropriation grant promised the people of the Federation that we are going to get an avant-garde development, one of its kind in the world. And I quote, "I want to tell you that developers are those who would have developed and had significant interest in the Palm Island in Dubai. And so, very shortly, we are going to come to the country with more details, Mr. Speaker. More details on that development. Suffice it to say that it will be the first of its kind, not only in the Caribbean, but also in the world." That is Lindsay Fitzpatrick Marriott Tanzel Grant. And so I want the people to tell me if that promise has materialized. And it is the lies and deception of this whole government that is really have the country where it is today. I want you to understand one thing. Here is a man, and I'm speaking to the constituents of constituency number 4. And further on, I will include General Powell, similar to what Marcel did. So here is a man who got elected to serve our people, but instead, what he has done, he is determined to serve himself at the expense of our constituency. And so I say to you, we must bring to an end the gangsterism of Lindsay Fitzpatrick Tanzel Grant. We must bring to an end the corruption of Lindsay Grant. We must bring to an end the nefarious activities of Lindsay Grant. And we must bring to an end the cronyism of Lindsay Grant. Lindsay Grant is not good for himself. Lindsay Grant is not good for our constituency. He's not good for our people. And he's not good for our country. He lies. He's a deceiver. He lacks knowledge of our area. And his uncariness must end on June 5th. His behavior is akin to a spoiled child who believes that that child must get whatever that child wants at the expense or irrespective of whoever owns that. And that is why Lindsay Grant will continue to thief. His tendencies are of arrogance, theft, corruption, and deception. Despite being caught in 2010 in a sting operation in the Marriott, Lindsey Grant remained unrepentant. He thirsted for more. He got more intrigued by corruption. At the time, he became twinned to the walrus, Mr. Big Stuff, the walrus, Timothy Harris. And so in 2015, as he thirsted for more corruption, Lindsey Grant went a step further. He went a step further, and this time he put his hand in the cookie jar. The cookie jar. He thought he could have deceived his client, Tanzil. But the gentleman was far smarter than he and Jonel put together. Those two brats got caught. Then they were found guilty by a court. They were found guilty by a court for misappropriation of funds, breach of fiduciary responsibility, and breach of trust. And Marcel said, we must have trust of persons who are going to be in government. It means that Lindsey Grant and Jonel Powell should not and never be a part of any government. Should never be. And so they got caught. But imagine when the guy put pressure on them to get his funds. Marcelo told you what I'm going to say it in my own way. When the pressure got on them, you know what these two brats did? They conceived a plan. They conceived a plan. I have the information here on my phone. So let the camera quote and we'll talk. They conceived a plan that one who is not a minister will go to a particular naturalized citizen, a businessman, to get 300,000 in a scheme to once again put money in an escrow account. And that is why the checks then bounced, because they were pressuring the guy. The urgency of the text messages suggested that they were desperate. And he raised red flag to that gentleman. He was smarter than them. And so he asked questions. And he found out that the government did not have the Pelican Mall parking lot to sell. That is how scampish those guys are. They are a set of brats. And you know, those who call us bastards, they are bastards. Thieving bastards. And so the gentleman, as he asked his questions, and he found out, no. You see, one said, the minister is in your corner. The minister is going to ensure you get the parking lot. But the minister knew that the cabinet didn't have the parking lot to sell because the minister could not sell the parking lot. Cabinet had to decide that. And so the guy, whatever means he tried and found out that these guys were trying to scam him. That is how scampish they are. And then they want to come and Lindsey Grant in Old Road the other day taking down my posters with the forwardness. Well, I would like to be by my poster and see Lindsey Grant put his hand on it. No, I don't want to see Lindsey Grant. He's talking about telling Sean about, this is war. Because he got a bunch of little boys around him. I mean, Lindsey Grant really believes he's any bad man? He really believes he could really face a war? I said to Lindsey Grant, you better would listen to my sister who spoke today. It's on Facebook. Don't ever underestimate Wrensford. Don't underestimate Wrensford. I am cool and calm, but don't underestimate me. You put your little boys to put on my posters because you know June 5th you are gone. Gone. And so I want to say to Lindsey Grant and Len Harris, because some young men told me Len Harris dropped $30,000 yesterday up in Stonefort area. So I hope the money they are dropping is legit money. I hope it's not the funds of the government. I just hope that they're doing it the right way. Because they're not going to buy this election. They're gone. Gone. And so I want to say to the people, the choice is clear. It is clear. Very clear. And I quote for you in Jeremiah 1, verse 9. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee. For I am with thee, saith the Lord, to deliver thee. And so our constituency will be delivered into the hands of Steve Wrensford. I want to say to you that my manifesto will be available tomorrow to the constituents. It is based on 4 pillars: economic, cultural and sports, innovation, and education. And so tomorrow we will discuss my mini manifesto for the constituency. But I want to end to say to my people, and I want you to listen carefully. Some time ago, in ancient days, the people were asked to choose. They were asked to make a choice. The choice was between Jesus and Barabbas. The choice was between Jesus and Barabbas. I'm not Jesus, but Barabbas is still here. The choice the people made was for Barabbas. And up to today, we are still paying for that choice. I said to my people, come June 5th on Friday, you have a choice. You have a choice between Barabbas and a messenger from God. You know the character of Barabbas. The character of Barabbas is one of deceit. His character is lies, wickedness, lacks love and compassion, and torment the people through his wanton stealing. I say to you, on the other hand, you have God's messenger. God's messenger character is one who is loving, caring, compassionate, looks for the best in people, is committed to the constituency, seek to deliver the constituency for the betterment of itself. You have a choice on June 5th. That decision is yours. You have to choose wisely. You have to choose to save your constituency. You have to choose to save our nation. We want decent people in government. I've laid out to you the man who is running against me, the man who lacks character of goodwill, a man who gives the wrong impression to our youths, the man who is not from our constituency, the man who does not vote for himself. His family does not vote for him. His siblings do not vote for him. And so, why would you choose someone that has no interest, no foundation in that constituency, and we have someone who is dedicated and who has proven his worth in that constituency? So I say to you, that choice is yours. It is in your heart for you to make that choice. Your children are watching you. Make the choice for your children's future and for the future of our constituency. I thank you, and may God bless us all.
Just as sure as the sun will rise, this government must fall. The handwriting is on the wall.
What a presentation. Boy, Steve, I tell a young lady to give you 3 coconut dumpling. I think you got 4 tonight. That's a presentation. And Steve has made the choice very clear. He has put 2 options before you. And the options are as different as the sky and the earth. You have a clear choice. And the choice is Steve for sure in constituency number 4. Steve for sure. I want to say to the people of constituency number 4 that Steve and the NextGenSKN Labour team will take care of you. Whatever happens or whatever policies are put in place by this NextGenSKN, they will also be felt and be delivered to constituency number 4. So really, you have nothing to be afraid of, nothing to fear. But I want to say tonight that a vote for Lindsey Grant is a wasted vote. A vote for Jonell Powell is a wasted vote. Because just now, both men have to go before a panel. And when the Integrity in Public Life Commission reviews their cases, or their case, they will be kicked out of whatever position they dream of having. And notice I say dream. So it's a wasted vote for Jonell and a wasted vote for Lindsey Grant. They really have shown that they cannot be trusted and they will be removed one way or the other. So don't waste your vote. Vote for the Honorable Marcel Liburd in constituency number 2 and His Excellency Steve Wrensford in constituency number 4, because on the 8th of June, they will be in jail. Possibly. We will see. This is a very, very serious matter. Very, very serious matter. Because already people are asking me from around the region if really 2 persons who have been found guilty for misappropriation of funds and who have to face a tribunal are really standing for political office. This is a serious matter. But those of you who are listening, I also want to say to the young men of St. Kitts-Nevis that you are not really cared for by Len Harris. Len Harris came to St. Peter's to try to deceive the young people up there. And now they're saying to the young men that if you don't vote for them, you not get no more money, and God knows whatever else they have in plan. And Chesley Hamilton spoke about it.
They brought people here to eliminate the problem. There was a plan to eliminate the problems. The St. Lucia solution. We have extrajudicial killings. That was part of the plan. But when they see who was in the crossfire and who was in the firing line, they ball out, Lord, no, let me try something different. Minister's son, tie up and they think the son were part of what was going to be eliminated. And therefore they start to cry out.
I hope that the country was able to listen to what lawyer Chesley Hamilton just said. And that is why the general was brought to St. Kitts. Because there's a sinister plan of elimination. And I say to the young men of St. Kitts-Nevis, the general was not brought here for a joke. Because after elections, they have a plan for you. They have your name in their databases. And they have a plan for you. But your hope is with the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party. We want you to get a plan for your life that will take you upward and onward. But before I continue speaking, I want to bring before us all the way from constituency number 7. I think that the giant, or our David, is ready now, and the giant is shaking in his boots. I want to say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis that I have a lot of patients from constituency number 7. Many of them are ex-Unity supporters. And they are saying to me that this time they're not voting for Harris again. They are voting for Leon Nat Nelson. Help me to bring to the podium the next representative for constituency number 7, the David, the one who has given all of our civil servants freedom in St. Kitts and Nevis, Leon Nat Nelson.
Hey, give thanks for life. Give thanks for life. Oh, chimney, chimney. Today my rise like the sunrise, my bright and my upright. No one can broke my vibes. I may not care who I fight, I know I criticize. I'm on the higher heights. So you can say what you want to and do what you want to. It's no concern to me. I have my own vision, me dip on my own mission to rule my destiny. Oh, it's my day to do what the fuck I want to. It's my time, and I'll use it any way I want to. It's my life, and I'm responsible for every action. It's all mine, my day, my time, my life.
Comrades, comrades, you ready? Comrades, you ready? You ready for the 5th of June, comrades? Tell you ready.
Let them know we're ready for them. Don't tell them so, that's how we feed them. Let them know.
Comrades, you ready for them? On the 5th of June, that is it. We ready for them. Redemption Day on the 5th of June. Comrades, you hear Steve just now? You hear Steve? Steve, boy, I believe they want to hear you again, you know, Steve. Boy, you're warm tonight, Steve. Let's give a round of applause for Steve Wrensford with an excellent presentation. Steve, how much you say they drop off in Old Road? 30,000? 30,000, and they paying a man $200 to take on my poster, Steve? $200, Steve? Come on, man. Greetings to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. Greetings to all the listeners and viewers out there. And of course, greetings to the wonderful people of Constituency 7. And as usual, I must say greetings to our citizens in the diaspora. We are stronger than ever. The next gen is coming stronger than ever. And Leon Nat Nelson is unstoppable in number 7.
Unstoppable. Who no see me unstoppable? You watch me now make it great.
Unstoppable in number 7. Leon Nat Nelson is unstoppable in number 7. No matter how Len and Tim Harris try to stop me, unstoppable in number 7. No matter how much posters you take down, you pay to take down, I'm unstoppable in number 7. No matter how you call emergency meetings with families you haven't spoken to in over 30 years, Leon Nat is unstoppable in number 7. Leon Nat Nelson is putting people over politics, and he's unstoppable in number 7.
Unstoppable. Who no see me unstoppable? You watch me now make it well. How come everything when me I do about you?
Everything I do about them. Everything. Well, comrades, people of St. Kitts and Nevis, I am disappointed. Comrades, I really thought and expected that the people of number 7 would have received more than what they are receiving right now from the Harris regime. I thought the next representative of the Labour Party would have received a better fight in this election. With all the nepotism, with all the resources of the Harris family, with the government treasury that they control, with the SIDF that they control, with the social security that they control, with the development bank that they control, with the courthouse that they control,
with the prison that they control, with the pop that they control, with the household program that they control as well. I thought that Tim and Len and Donna and Dwight and Coretta would have put a proper plan for the people of number 7. Imagine all those resources that they have, including the O, because you like to hear him talk about the big O. I really thought they would have brought a better plan for the people of 7. They control everything. They control all the resources in the constituency, all the resources around the country. But they failed to bring a plan to the people of number 7. Just imagine how we can bring a proper housing solution plan to the people of number 7. Just imagine how we can put forward a plan to bring opportunities to the people of number 7. Can't bring a plan to find jobs. The only jobs that are out there right now is jobs to pull down posters. $200. Huh? And we are short too? Yeah. Huh? Oh, in number 3 as well. And in number 1, we are short. Give you some rum, pull down posters. We need more than that in St. Kitts-Nevis. Huh? We need more than that in St. Kitts-Nevis. Pulling down posters, and you get $200 from either Len or what he name? Big T or Big Titty? Which one? Big Titty? Huh? All those resources and over 30 years in Parliament, you can't bring a proper plan to the people of number 7. So comrades, I am disappointed with where we are in number 7. Where we are, how far we've come and struggled. But people of number 7, we can't be caught up in the euphoria of nothing. We can't be caught up in the euphoria of nothing because Timothy Harris have nothing to offer. But look at me, a young man who came from humble beginnings. A young man who came from humble beginnings and is before you in politics today. Against all the Harrises, against all their resources, this young man has come before you and presented a plan. A plan to move the constituency forward. A detailed plan that is outlined in this manifesto. This manifesto that will change the landscape in number 7. A roadmap to progress and prosperity. People over politics. A roadmap that would demonstrate plans for a safer community. A plans to develop education. And I'm sure that you've heard me mention of my brainchild in education. My graduate incentive reward for persons who go to school in constituency 7, then goes on to graduate from any high school, will get an assistance of $500. And if you go on to graduate at CFBC, you will be rewarded with $750. But the plan, this manifesto goes on further to develop people to sports. And of course, we shall upgrade, as we say here, our commitment to upgrade the sporting facilities, especially the one in Atlas, especially the Edgar Givert playing field. We will continue our plans to develop tourism and cultural development in the constituency. And so the mansion sliding, you will see a duty-free zone shopping area where you can sell your arts and crafts, your souvenirs, your Class B and Class A stuff. That's innovation, that's ideas. Those Harris guys don't have that. They have the O and big bellies and greediness. They don't have this. They don't have the innovation. They don't care about people. And so this manifesto commits again to the plans for sustainable communities, new houses. And I've told you how houses will be distributed in number 7. All 250 of them will be facilitated or accommodated with either a fridge, a stove, a bed, a washing machine. You can depend on me for that. This manifesto also speaks of developing new businesses and jobs. I could recall
those young men in Tabernacle, one of the best meetings I ever went to, young men came to me with ideas. They presented about 18 different businesses that they want to get into. 18. Presented them to me and my colleague on a paper, said, this is what we want. This is what we want at the end of the next 5 years, that we young men have ownership in businesses. And so we committed to them. And so we will establish a business park in Tabernacle. That is my commitment to them. They will become owners of business and owners of a piece of the soil. So, and in this manifesto that is before you, with my lovely face on it, this next gen face on it. You see this, guys? You see these people of St. Kitts-Nevis? Timothy Harris, Tim Len Harris, and the rest of the Harrisites cannot produce nothing like this. Because they are too caught up in their own selfish ambitions. They have not demonstrated to you, the people of Constituency 7 and the wider community, that they are interested in your issues, that they know your story, and that they are willing to help you. They have not done that. So why sign a contract with them again for the next 5 years? Why put yourself and your families to that for the next 5 years? Why torment yourself? If you didn't get a house for Harris in 30 years, well, how are you going to sign a contract again to get it in the next 5 years? If you didn't get a job in the last 5 years, why would you think you will get it again? If you didn't get your house roof repaired, don't go and say because you wear an orange shirt, you won't get it. You will not get it again. That is the reality. And if you're hopeful, I'm sorry to spoil your hopes, because on June 5th, I will be the one to replace him. I will be the one to replace him. So fill out your application forms for whatever you want, whether it's for land or for house. I will be the one to deliver that to you, the people of number 7. And so, end your disappointment with the Harris. End your disappointment with nepotism. And vote. Vote for a better future. Vote for a better lifestyle for you and your family. Vote for a better economy. Vote for Nat Nelson, who will put people over politics. Vote for Nat Nelson, the best candidate in number 7. Thank you. Good night. Love you.
Show me your voting finger. Raise up your voting finger. Show me your voting finger. Raise up the voting. All right. Me and my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Somebody say, whoa, we voting the comrade back. Yeah, we voting the comrade back. That's why me and my neighbor. Voting for Labour. Me and my neighbor. Voting for Labour.
Buenas noches a la gente de la República Dominicana. El Partido Labor está pidiendo a ustedes que votan por la mano este viernes 5 de junio. Y yo quiero que ustedes voten por nosotros, especialmente por Dr. Jeffrey y Marcel Liburd, porque nosotros tenemos el plan para ustedes. Y nosotros queremos que ustedes revisan el plan que nosotros tenemos para que vean que nosotros estamos en serio, están representando a las ideas de ustedes. I want to continue now, and I want to highlight one or two things that Leonardo said. And he spoke about deception. Deception in government. Deception by the Harris-led government. But it's not only the people of St. Kitts-Nevis who are talking about deception, but we have regional leaders talking about deception. And I'm sure we can hear from one of them.
I mean, I hear, for example, in St. Kitts, they're ridiculing us. And at the highest level, at the level of the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister. And I don't know why they want to draw us into the politics.
If you go nearby to Antigua, to date, not one
single stimulus package has been put in place in Antigua.
I don't know why, my dear friend, and Tim is my friend. Prime Minister Timothy Harris is my friend. He and his deputy Sean Richards, why do they continue to draw Antigua and Barbuda into their politics and say Antigua has no stimulus and how they have $120 million stimulus? I think it's totally unhelpful. I mean, I had a call this morning from Denzel Douglas. And when Denzel was in government, in fact, I can say that St. Kitts was doing significantly better than Antigua. And Denzel never had to resort to that type of cheap politics. Denzel stood by his record. He stood on his record. All I'm saying is that that type of provocation is unnecessary.
We hear it from a leader of a fellow OECS country, our neighbor, Antigua and Barbuda. It is sad how Harris and this government has brought the reputation of St. Kitts and Nevis down to the ground. And we are saying to the people of St. Kitts, we must restore our image across the region, our image across the world. When another leader has to speak like that about our country, it puts us in a very, very bad light. The deceptive politics is taking over and it's affecting all of us here in St. Kitts and Nevis. But I want to also highlight that clip from Chesley Hamilton about the young men and the plan that the government has, but we'll play it again later on. But I want to go into the West. And I want to bring one who will win bigger for the people in constituency number 3. He's not winning bigger for him. He's winning bigger for the people in constituency number 3. Because the people in constituency number 3, there's somebody up there say there is a caretaker. And a lady came to me and she said, Dr. Drew, a lady came to me and said she's a caretaker. Well, I asked her how she can take care of me. And then she said she ain't in government. Now, what kind of story that? You are the caretaker, you must take care of the people. But she has not taken care of the people. And the people are saying that she will never, ever be their representative. And so I want to bring before us the unstoppable force, the man who will win bigger for the people of constituency number 3, the Honorable Conrest Mayard.
Seconds, you ready? Yes, we ready now. Seconds, you ready? Yes, we ready now. Nevis, you ready? Yes, we ready now. Nevis, you ready? Yes, unstoppable force. When we move as one, let the whole world know. They can't keep asking down. And when we reach, we'll stay. A lot of dust going. Yeah, we small, but we tall, and we gon' turn up the place. Turn it up, unstoppable force. When we move as one, and let the whole world know. They can't keep us down. And when we reach full stage, a lot of dust go. Yeah, we small, but we tall, and we gon' turn up the place. Now turn it.
I thought you were going to play a little bit more, man, Rascal. Trying to warm up in here a bit. The AC on a little high. Good night, comrades and citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. It is always a pleasure to be here on the podium with the NextGenSKN team. I can feel the victory coming. DJ ain't easy, boy. That was not planned. That DJ ain't easy at all, but I can feel it. It's a next gen thing. When you walk through the constituencies, you know, today I was walking through the village in a particular area. And I've been on the street many times. speak with the people and so on. But their expression of support has always been mild, you know, very reserved and, you know. And all of a sudden you walk down the street and they are not afraid to put out their labor flags and their labor clothes. We got to say, well, what pan trouble in the place? And they're now feeling a little weight off their shoulders as if they could express themselves. They're telling you of all the stories. On that same street, the lady was saying that this government believes that they could fool people in this last shower rain. There's an area in my constituency called Lagreet Village. And all of a sudden, letters are coming out about some process now they're going through for the land in Lagreet. And the lady pointed out to me, even dead people getting letters. Even dead people getting letters. And I remember that scripture about how you confuse the wicked because they do not know what they are doing. They are confused. Imagine a government call an election. And tonight, Monday before Friday, is when a plane load of stuff coming in for them. Tonight, your government brought in a plane load of black boxes on a charter flight. When it sound like it's we call the election. Imagine that. Imagine that. The government called an election 2 weeks ago. And they're playing with their equipment, their paraphernalia coming in tonight. But another thing you realized is how mobilized and ready the labor people are. I get so many calls. I'm there on the street canvassing. And people calling me from all over. Conrest, you all got to do this. We hear that a flight coming in. They had the details from Fort Lauderdale. They had the name of the plane, the name of the pilot. And they drove up to the airport with their cameras. And they're saying, like Marcel said in Parliament, not this time. Not this time, brother.
We're coming in stronger than ever. We're coming in stronger than ever. We're coming in stronger than ever.
There is a sense of unfairness pervading the country at the moment. People honestly believe that the government is up to something. I get the calls all the time. Conrest, check this, check that. Make sure you tell them this. Make sure you tell them that. Because people have come to realize that the only way that the government can win the election is if they cheat or thief it. And you know they specialize in thieving. So we have to be very careful because they are professionals in thieving. And so everyone has to play their part as we protect our democracy here in St. Kitts-Nevis. They are taking us for fools. You ignore a whole set of people for 4.5 years, and then on the eve of an election, the first thing that you do comes just a few days before election. A land paper here. $500 in number 3 to wear a shirt. $500 in number 3 to wear a shirt. And yet, the caretaker will have you believe that she is holy, but is condoning only negative campaigning in constituency number 3. We put up positive boards in our constituency promoting our candidate. And what was their response? To put up a negative board. Because they didn't have anything. $500 to wear a shirt. And you know what the fella's saying? But the king, we got to eat, you know. We got to eat. Well, I tell them eat. But vote for your future. They say, yeah, man.
When they come by your door and they start to spout, take the money and put them out. Take the cell phone, take the Nike. Take the money and put them out.
The government was so unprepared for this election that when Harris called the election, I think I heard Marcel alluding to it. The next day, Harris started calling around to figure out, well, what's going on here? He see that Labour was mobilized immediately. He tried to find out, well, where Labour get their stuff from. He called the election to try to catch us off guard. But he has caught himself. You see, for many, many months, we have been communicating, collaborating, and discussing the future of St. Kitts and Nevis. For many, many months, we have already had the basis of the manifesto which we presented to you a few days ago. We already knew where we wanted to take the country after consultation with you, the people, as we walk through the constituencies. We have been saying for a very long time that we are ready to lead. And that is why you can now see a clear vision presented to you through our manifesto, through our next-gen ideas about where the country will go. I have been talking about many of the plans in my own constituency. If you look at my Facebook page, we have split up our manifesto into pieces. And very shortly, you will see it all come together in one place. Because we are very, very serious about governing in this country. For government to wait until now to start to talk about their plans, especially in the COVID era, is a blatant disrespect to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. And that is why we are asking you in each of the constituencies to vote for the hand and vote for a NextGenSKN Labour team that has sat and thought about your needs and how we can make St. Kitts and Nevis better. As you see in this campaign, we have not resorted to gutter politics. We have raised the level of political discourse in this 2020 visionary election. And as you have seen, that anything start bad at night can come good a morning. So as Timothy Harris had fooled his way into the hearts of many Kittitians and Nevisians prior to 2015, one by one they started dropping off like a tree going through a winter. Dwyer Astafan, gone. Clecton Phillip, gone. Duncan Watley, gone. Big Lies, gone. Chesley Hamilton, gone. Sam Conda, gone. 60 million Frenchmen can't be wrong. And so I want the people of St. Kitts and Nevis to realize that this is an opportunity to get back on course. We have sat, reflected, retooled, and reinvigorated ourselves as a party. We take this responsibility seriously, and we are asking you to walk with us as we rebuild this country, especially post-COVID. In my constituency of number 3, I was so proud yesterday with the motorcade. I just saw people springing from all over the village area, culminating by the movies, welcoming the motorcade into constituency number 3. We have long said that we believe in the philosophy of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party for the good that we can do, so that Conrest Mayard in a next-gen Labour administration will bring about the development that you want to see. A brand new Cardin home, a small business mall complex for our businesses, hundreds of homes for all those persons who live in a multi-family single home, or for those young men who can use the bundle of material option to build their own home and feel the pride and joy of having a say in their own home. Preserving our history with a Buckley's Uprising monument, or turning the Shadwell Cotton House into a national museum and a community center. Helping to turn Sir Joseph Nathaniel France's humble home into a museum to show his representation of 43 years. And I'm going to talk about this for the first time tonight. One of the things we are going to do for the Joseph Nathaniel France Memorial Project is because JNF was a humble man. He walked from his house to Church Street every day. And so, as part of the monument project for Sir Joseph Nathaniel France, I will install footprints from his house along the sidewalks of the village, through the streets of Bastia to Church Street, so that as you walk on the sidewalks to town, you will see the footprints of a giant of a man who served us so well and became our national hero. These are just some of the ideas that we have for constituency number 3. And with your help to elect a NextGenSKN team who has thought about how we will govern in the next term, please give us your support. In constituency number 1, Dr. Jeffrey Hanley is the only choice for you. In constituency number 2 is a no-brainer. In constituency number 3, the folks are saying, Conrest, Jeffrey, they're saying, Conrest, we are with you. In number 4, I am getting reports that Steve is now widening the gap. In number 5, we are going to see Kenny coming out on top. In constituency number 6, they're saying that Linky, what is it? Will get the most licks. In number 7, is Nata again, they said. And in number 8, the doctor is great and will return victory in 2020. So thank you very much. I love you. We love you. Enjoy your evening and vote Labour. Vote the hand.
Stand up, next gen, boom, all right then. Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, boom. We're stronger than ever. Okay, we're coming in stronger than ever. St. Kitts-Nevis, whoa, let we go. Everybody start to jump with the Labour, the Labour, the Labour, the Labour army, the Labour, the Labour, the Labour army is a nation of red, 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 red. This is the next gen, 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 gen.
Powerful, powerful presentation by the king, who is winning bigger for the people in constituency number 3. Boy, well, it's so much money to wear a shot. My God, $500? Well. But I like how the young men them say it, boy, we got to eat, you know. So they're eating now, but they're going to vote for the future. I like that. They're eating now, but they're going to vote for the future. But I love that. I want to say to the people of the Spanish community, la gente de la República, que el Partido Labor es el partido para ustedes. Que no venda su voto. We have a clip, but we'll play it afterwards. I think that the DJ is queuing it up. But as a serious note with respect to the young men, I am concerned about the plan for the young men here in St. Kitts-Nevis. The St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party offers the best plan for you. We offer you a future and not a quick fix. But also I want to address those who are on the PAP, the Poverty Alleviation Program. When the government brought many of you into the square to parade you, that the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party first introduced that concept in St. Kitts-Nevis. When we collaborated with the European Union and came up with two great ideas: the MEND in St. Kitts and the RISE in Nevis. And that plan was to meet families and individuals and help them financially and otherwise to lift them out of poverty. And so when I hear them talking their nonsense that the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party going to end the PAP just so, tell them is we started, is we came up with the idea, and we're going to strengthen it and show them how to do it. There were people getting up to $1,500 to truly lift them up. Help the families. Help the single mothers. And the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party was about to make it massive to lift our people up. And so I want to say to the people of St. Kitts-Nevis, don't have any fear. Is we came up with the idea. We care about you, and we'll make sure that we make it stronger and better. And so when they come and they tell you, don't vote for Labour because Labour going to end the PAP, no believe that. Ask them where the idea come from and who started it. And so we want the people of St. Kitts-Nevis to know that we, the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, this visionary NextGenSKN that came up with many ideas and will display them before the people of St. Kitts-Nevis to better your lives so that you can live your dreams and not get a quick fix, but real ideas and real plans for your future. But I want to bring somebody to the microphone. And as I describe him, you will know who I'm speaking about. Because last evening, none other than Dwyer Astafan and Sam Condor looked the country in its eyes and said that this man is a true leader. They compared him to Timothy Harris and said that Timothy Harris does not even come close. That they were deceived by Timothy Harris. He paraded as if he believed in good governance. He paraded as if he had the country's best interests at heart. But he was only in it for himself and his family. No other place in the world is one man and his family controlling so many levers of power. Not even Kim Jong-un of North Korea has managed to accomplish what Timothy Harris has accomplished. He is the Minister of Finance. His brother Len Harris is the CEO of Development Bank. Len Harris is also on the board for Social Security. His sister is the head of government payroll. His sister is a magistrate in the court, and she got her position without any advertisement of the position. His other sister is the registrar in the court. One of them is still on Skellect board. A nephew is a deputy auditor. A nephew is a butler. And they say only concrete in the yard. But they say they got concrete lawnmower over there. I mean, how much more can a country take with one family controlling so much? And then you go into the prison and a brother promoted to chief jailer there in the prison. That is too much for one family. And that is why I'm saying to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, under the NextGenSKN, we will institute a law that protects us from this type of nepotism. Never again to happen in St. Kitts and Nevis. But we have a man who is the leader of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, who has said that he's the coach of the NextGenSKN to bring us into government, and then he will take his time off. A man who has led us through 2008. A man who led us after the great hurricanes. And now that our country has hit another crisis, none other than Dwyer Astafan himself said that he's the best man to lead at this time through this crisis because he has the gravitas and the experience to do so. And therefore, I want the country to recognize him for what he has contributed. For he has contributed significantly to St. Kitts and Nevis. He has eliminated poverty to a great extent. When he took office, poverty in St. Kitts and Nevis was at 40-something%. When he left, it has dropped significantly. He took people from using outside toilets and boreholes to inside flush toilet till people cut in style with the flush toilet. Took people from cooking outside in galvanized kitchen to come inside and cook your food inside with style. This man brought this to St. Kitts and Nevis. Took us from a landless people to where young people are claiming their right to own a piece of the rock. Took us from little education, from cane fields, to where the children of those same people can become professionals here in St. Kitts and Nevis. The record stands for itself. And I want to bring before the people of St. Kitts and Nevis the man who has delivered all of this for us and made us #1 when he left in 2015, none other than a leader of the St. Kitts-Nevis Labour Party, the Right Honourable Dr. Denzel Douglas.
You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. You're simply the best, better than all the rest, better than anyone I've ever met. You're the best.
Much better.
Good night to everyone. Those of you who are there in the virtual world. We are in our own virtual space here at what we call the Galaxy Studio, downtown Bastia, Port Zante. So those of you who have really been following the development of our campaign, you would know that we have just about 4 more days. On Friday, it was a tremendous show when we brought to the fore the document of the century, the post-COVID-19 pandemic document of the century, outlining in great detail what the new policies of the SKN, the NextGenSKN government will be like. Tonight, I want to take it a bit further. I want to say that we could not get down into the meat of things within this document unless we are able to move ourselves beyond where we are, having been impacted by COVID-19 pandemic. How do we get from where we are to where we must begin to create that new country, that new economy that will take us further into the new era? And so tonight I want to spend a little time to outline, for the benefit of our people, for the benefit of those who will be working closely with the St. Kitts-Nevis government, for the benefit of those who are in the international and regional space, we want to outline what would be the NextGenSKN fiscal stimulus program that commences 30 days after taking government on the 6th day of June this year. And so by the 6th day of July, a new government would be in place, and I shall be outlining to you tonight what would be taking place by the 6th day of July, 1 month after a new government would have been installed. I want to begin by saying that the economic fallout of the COVID-19 threatens the entire global financial and economic structure and could push hundreds of millions of people below the poverty line. I want to remind us that the head of the IMF has warned that the IMF, and I quote, anticipates the worst economic fallout since the Great Depression. She continued and advised that governments should spend as much as they could afford and more, but keep the receipts, end of quote. This advice, coming from one of the most conservative financial institutions on the face of the globe, it speaks volumes about the magnitude of the threat that we are faced by the global community. The threat including our federation, St. Kitts and Nevis. Governments around the world have responded with unprecedented speed and force in the hope of staving off the worst of the potential economic effects. In Canada, for example, the government announced fiscal measures that amounted to some 9.8% of GDP. In the United States of America, the government introduced a Paycheck Protection and Healthcare Enhancement Program, which is expected to cost some US $483 billion. US billion dollars. And which, among other things, will result in some employees receiving more in monthly unemployment benefits than their regular pay or salary. So this expenditure in the USA is in addition to a mammoth 2.3 trillion US dollars, or 11% of GDP allocated under coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security. Economic Security Act. The NextGenSKN does not believe that the decision of our government to reopen the economy will automatically lead to substantial increases in economic activity or a return to normal business operations. We believe that the government must specifically introduce policy initiatives which are aimed at stimulating demand, and generating sufficient business for enterprises to justify re-employing the workers that were laid off during the height of the pandemic. In other words, we don't simply want people to remain at home. We want our businesses to begin to call out the employees. Let them begin to work. But how can we successfully do this? I want to submit tonight that domestic demand is particularly critical at this time, because it is unlikely that the tourist and the offshore university students will immediately return to our shores. Hence, the NextGenSKN will take immediate steps to boost domestic demand and keep the economy of St. Kitts-Nevis afloat in the expectation that the global fight against the pandemic will yield results and generate some increase in the level of external demand for our goods and services during the course of the next tourist season. Therefore, with that background, I want to submit that the NextGenSKN Labour government will, within the first 21 days of assuming office, do the following. 1, we shall pay an honorarium of 2 months' salary to all COVID-19 frontline workers, including all our nurses, our policemen, and other medical and security personnel, and all those categorized as essential service providers operating during the pandemic. These workers have put their lives and the lives of their family at risk for the nation, and they have gone beyond the call of duty to secure the well-being of our people. Although out of their sense of duty and commitment to service, they have not made any vociferous public demands for compensation, we believe, nevertheless, that they should be justly rewarded. And so, within the first 21 days of a new Labour administration, we shall pay an honorarium of 2 months' salary to all COVID-19 frontline workers, including, as I said, nurses, policemen, and other medical and security personnel, all security personnel, including our soldiers in camp and out of camp as well. The second thing that we shall do within the first 21 days of assuming office, we shall pay a 15% increase to all government employees and pensioners. All government employees and pensioners, retroactive from January the 1st, 2020. I want to make it clear that there have been no general increases in the pay of public servants for over a decade, while the cost of living has increased steadily. In every crisis that we have faced, our public servants have been called upon to make huge sacrifices through salary freezes and other cost-cutting measures. We have heard for the last 3 years that there will be an increase in salaries for pensioners and workers. But today, 4 more days before the life of this government come to an end, nothing has been paid to our public servants. They have made these sacrifices calmly and selflessly because, you see, they were willing to put country above self and make a contribution to the growth and stability of our country and economy. When the Labour government left office back in 2015, we were well advanced in our plans to substantially improve the pay package of government employees. Unfortunately, this was not a priority of Team Unity government. But we can assure our government employees and pensioners that while government ministers have increased the allowances almost 10 times what they were in 2015, even though that has happened, we can assure our government employees and pensioners that we will promptly address this problem after we assume office on June the 6th, 2020. And so, within the first 30 days of taking office, we shall pay a 15% increase to all government employees and pensioners, and it shall be retroactive from the 1st day of January 2020. A third important initiative is that we shall increase the monthly stipend to workers who have lost their jobs as a result of COVID-19 from the $1,000 per month that has been announced by this government to $1,550 per month, which is simply equivalent to the minimum wage of $360 per week. If you were getting a wage and you were getting at least minimum wage and you had difficulties in living from this, how in good heavens can you live on $1,000? This is ridiculous. It cannot work. And so this increase will take effect from the date that each worker lost his or her job, so that within a fortnight of assuming office, we will make a lump sum retroactive payment to all current beneficiaries, and we will ensure that all existing applications are processed promptly so that all of the relevant workers would have received the current and also retroactive payments to which they are entitled by payday in June of this year under a new Labour administration. We will also protect the pension and other social security benefits of our people by immediately removing this onerous and illegal financial burden from our Social Security Board, which in recent years has been in deficit, and by making all such payments from the consolidated fund, that is how we will go forward. This also means that every worker in our federation who was laid off as a result of COVID-19 would qualify. All who would have laid off would qualify, whether or not he or she is up to date with your Social Security payments. This is important because it is the consolidated fund that will be responsible It has nothing to do with Social Security. Therefore, each of you, whether you're a taxi operator, working in the restaurant, whether you are a small businessman who did not pay into the Social Security Fund, you will still be entitled to this, because this has nothing to do with Social Security payment. It has all to do by your government, the NextGenSKN Labour government, paying you this from the consolidated fund of the government of St. Kitts and Nevis. Another important initiative that we shall introduce in the first 30 days, the fourth initiative, is that we shall give every household a credit note of $3,000, which they will be able to use to pay their electricity bills, their water bills, their NHC rents, and mortgages, and other obligations to the government of St. Kitts and Nevis in the upcoming months. The NextGenSKN has argued strenuously that the moratorium provided in the current government's COVID-19 relief program does not really help the intended beneficiaries. No, it does not. It merely postpones the debts and could push our people into serious financial embarrassment when the accumulated outstanding payments become due at the end of the moratorium. And we are told that the moratorium is only, I think, for 3 months. The credit notes, therefore, that we will provide to our people can be used to make those payments and allow our people to avoid the dangerous accumulation of debt. And so, again, I repeat, the fourth initiative, we shall give every household a credit note of $3,000, which they would be able to use to pay their electricity bills, their water bills, their NHC rents and mortgages, and other obligations to the government in the upcoming months. I move on now to the fifth initiative that we shall put in place within the first 30 days, the first month of taking office as a government here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And it is to our young people. We shall relieve our current students and our past students of their monthly payments of principal and interest to our development bank over the next 6 months here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And this will not be a moratorium, but it is a debt forgiveness. Forgiveness of principal, forgiveness of interest as well, and payable over that particular period. And I want you to appreciate that this is in addition to the $25,000 credit note that we say would be payable to all students. It was a commitment made before COVID-19, and it shall be committed continuing even though COVID-19 has come our way. And so again, I repeat the fifth initiative. We shall relieve our current students and past students of their monthly payments of principal and interest to the development bank over the next 6 months. A sixth initiative that we shall put in place within the first 30 days of taking office, we shall increase the minimum level of age and disability pension paid by Social Security by a whopping 81% from its current level of $430 per month to $780 per month. which is simply half of the monthly equivalent of our minimum wage. The government should have been able to do this before. They have not. And so we shall increase the minimum level of age and disability pension paid by Social Security by 81% from its current level of $430 per month to $780 per month, which, as I said, is simply half of the monthly equivalent of the minimum wage. If people cannot live from the minimum wage, how can they really live from less than that? We can't. And so our aim is to ensure that our aged can retire and still enjoy a decent standard of living so that they may carry on their day-to-day activities in a dignified manner, befitting of persons who have served this country to the best of their abilities and contributed in their individual ways to national economic well-being. My dear people listening to me, and my dear citizens of St. Kitts-Nevis, these initiatives will undoubtedly stimulate demand. Stimulate demand. But our businesses must also be ready to provide the necessary goods and services that would be demanded by our consumers. Many of our small businesses, in particular, could find this very challenging, simply because they have been faced with considerable fixed costs, including rents, while they earned no income whatsoever during the lockdown periods. Without special attention and assistance from our government, the new labor caring government, many of them would be mired in debt and may not have the working capital necessary to recommence business fully. But we want them to get back into their businesses. We don't want them to remain in a state of dormancy or inactivity. We want the businesses to reopen. We want them to have the basic cash. They need cash. They are starved of cash. We want to provide our small businesses with cash. And even though they may not be small but medium to large, we will still ensure that they have cash. Cash is the scarcest thing today in the world for our businesses. And so I must emphasize that it is surprising that although in almost every country in the world, this problem has been recognized and the COVID-19 relief programs have included substantial resources for small business assistance, this is woefully lacking in the relief program announced by the Team Unity government several months ago. A limited amount has been allocated to the FRESH program, but this is geared primarily to startup enterprises. And so in these times, however, our existing businesses are also in need of a helping hand in order to stay afloat and to continue generating employment opportunities for our people. Again, I emphasize, what we want is for these businesses to call back their employees, to come back to work, give opportunities of our people for employment. And so for this reason, the NextGenSKN will again do the following for another initiative. We shall establish, therefore, a fund of $25 million placed in the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis in order to provide grants and loans to existing small businesses. Let me repeat that. Your new NextGenSKN government, within 30 days of taking office, we shall establish a fund of some $25 million placed in our Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis in order to provide grants and loans to existing small businesses. And the amount and terms of such loans and grants will be conditional of the number of persons that would be employed or re-employed by the particular enterprise or business. And further to this, in order to help generate cash so that the businesses can recall people to work. And an eighth initiative will be establish a guarantee scheme through the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation, the SIDF, or through a special state-sponsored vehicle to guarantee loans required by small businesses from their existing bankers to recommence operations and meet their immediate working capital requirements. So for those who may not have qualified for grants, but have to take loans at very low interest rates, but who do not have the collateral in order to obtain that loan, we shall collateralize their own loans from the commercial banks through the guaranteed scheme through the Sugar Industry Diversification Foundation or through a special state-sponsored vehicle so that those loans will be guaranteed, would in fact be collateralized so that the banks would be able to on-lend with the government guaranteeing this through money placed in the SIDF. That is critically important. Following to this, I should say a NextGen ninth initiative. I want to say that the NextGenSKN has already commenced work with the formation of the National Economic Recovery Council. And in commencing work, it is with regard to the development of a long-term economic recovery program with a view towards correcting any long-term structural damage, I should say, to our economy that may have been caused by the coronavirus pandemic. Expanding, for example, local production and our income-generating capabilities, enhance, for example, for food security, and building our resilience to similar economic shocks in the future. You would recall that I have mentioned from time to time that in 2015, when the Labour government stepped down from office, some $900 million was left in the bank accounts of the government. $900 million, almost $1 billion left in the government accounts for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. This is a very significant achievement because you see, when Labour assumed office in 1995, the fiscal accounts were in deficit and we had inherited a very substantial overdraft. It was our intention to use a portion of the $900 million to establish a sovereign wealth fund that would earn investment income and would, among other things, provide a buffer for our economy in the event that we suffered economic shocks from natural disasters, global recessions, and other similar events to like what is happening today in the coronavirus pandemic. We had considerable technical assistance from the IMF in designing the Sovereign Wealth Fund and preparing for its launch. This government that came into office was very careless, uncaring, and did not pursue that particular goal. The Team Unity government did not pursue this initiative and opted instead to operate as a pariah state outside of the usual monitoring and reporting of the International Monetary Fund. That is why today, nothing that this government is saying or has said recently about the fiscal state of the country, nobody believes them. Because the IMF has given a report 2 years ago, 2 long years ago, which has been hidden from the people of St. Kitts-Nevis and hidden from the watchful eyes of the international financial institutions of the world, so that there is no verification of what this government is saying is the fiscal health of our country. We just do not know what the government is doing. The Team Unity government, it has boasted of surpluses every year since they assumed office. If this is correct, there should have been no depletion of the resources left in our treasury by labor. In any event, in an atmosphere of corruption and nepotism, and in light of the absence of the usual reporting by the IMF, we simply, as a people, do not know if these funds have gone missing. And if these funds have gone missing, it is for us over the next few days to ask Dr. Harris and the Unity government, where have the people's funds gone? What has happened to the $900 million that we left in government accounts? How much is still there? And the fact that you are not saying anything at all in response, the fact that you cannot pay decently to those who have been affected by coronavirus pandemic, it means that maybe there is no money there. What has happened to the people's money? We need to know. And so, on the lips of every citizen in this country over the next few days, we should be asking Dr. Harris, what has happened to our money that was left by labor for us? You are silent. The IMF report that would have reported on it, you have hidden it away from the people. What really has happened to the $900 million left in the government accounts by labor for the benefit of the people of St. Kitts and Nevis? However, we are confident that we can save the Citizenship by Investment program. We can rebuild its reputation, as I said just this morning to Ken Richards on Win FM. We can rebuild the reputation of the Citizenship by Investment program so that it would be able to provide the required resources, if necessary at all. And so, my dear people, I want to conclude this statement in terms of what we shall do in the first 30 days of taking office. What are the NextGenSKN fiscal stimulus programs or initiatives of the program that we shall put in place? It is critically important for us to know that apart from the $900 million left in the treasury, what about the over $1 billion that we left in the SIDF? We are not hearing anything about the SIDF. It seems as though it has been closed. But what has happened to the money that was left in the SIDF? My dear fellow citizens and friends, those who are resident here and those who are abroad, we have only 4 more days for this particular election campaign. To date, the government has mentioned nothing whatsoever about the future post-COVID-19 pandemic economic recovery program. Nothing whatsoever. Today, since Friday, we launched our manifesto. Have you seen a manifesto from the government of the day? Nada, nothing has come. And I saw, my dear people, I said to you, that we are a serious group of men and ladies determined to take our government to the next level. Give us the opportunity. Give us the opportunity again to pick up where we were 5 years ago. They have squandered your money. They have not been proper, accountable stewards towards what has happened to your money. We want to know. Labour says to you, we will be a more responsible government. We will be more accountable. We would not have any need to hide anything from you. We will provide you with information and more information so that the entire country can become part of the national debate whenever there is need, whenever there is a financial or economic crisis, whenever the time comes for us to take unprecedented positions and initiatives to move our great country forward. Again, I said to you, this is it. 4 more days, a new government will emerge. And in the first 30 days, you shall be a happy group of people here in St. Kitts-Nevis. God bless you. Thank you and good night. Before we go, I forgot that I want to celebrate tonight with the people of Sandy Point, because I have been given the very, very, very happy news that Shino Berridge of Sandy Point has been selected to be included in the training squad to go off after post-COVID-19 pandemic ends, to join the West Indies team in their matches against England. Let us give him tremendous applause. Let us give Kenny tremendous applause. And Kenny, I hope you will be the Minister of Sports when he goes off. Right, when he goes off in a matter of weeks to join the West Indies squad. Again, we know what we're doing. Let's go.
Stand up! Next gen, bam! Alright then. Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour. Bam! We're stronger than ever. Okay, we're coming in stronger than ever. St. Kitts-Nevis. Why? Let we go! Everybody start to jump with the Labour.
Dominicanos, dominicanas, este es el momento para estar más unidos que nunca, porque todos necesitamos igualdad de derechos. ¿Por qué pagar por servicios que deben ser otorgados y no comprados? Como ciudadanos de San Kitts-Nevis, nosotros necesitamos mejor trato. No vendas tu derecho de tener un mejor futuro. Recuerda que el partido de Leva te ofrece un futuro brillante, claro, defendiendo tus mejores intereses, pensando en ti y en tu familia. Este viernes 5 de junio, levántate a reclamar tus derechos y a votar por un futuro promisorio para tus seres amados. Es tiempo de que des un voto de conciencia. Este viernes 5 de junio, vota Liburd, vota rojo. Levántate con Leva, rumbo a la victoria.
Next gen, boom, alright then. Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, Labour, next gen, Labour, next gen, Labour, boom. We're stronger than ever, okay. We're coming in stronger than ever. Sing Kitts-Nevis, whoa, there we go. Everybody start to jump with the Labour, the Labour, the Labour, the Labour army, the Labour, the Labour, the Labour army is a nation of red, 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 red. This is the next gen, 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 gen. Boy. It's time for remove to the next gen. Time to give the country a lift. And I have a message for SKN. Victory is coming on June the 5th. So let me fight them with love, win them with love, beat them with love. We're moving forward.